The first thing the girl did after being reborn was to break the balcony railing on purpose, then wait for her brother-in-law to fall into her trap. In her previous life, he often leaned on the railing to smoke, and every time he finished, it marked the beginning of her nightmare. Just as she expected, a few minutes later, he walked in with a cigarette. The girl frowned in disgust at the smell. He sneered and walked out to the balcony. The next second the railing gave way, and he fell straight down. Everyone thought it was just an accident, but no one knew. The girl had waited 2 lifetimes for this moment. In her last life, she had innocently followed her stepmother to a factory wedding, only to be called upstairs by the factory director's wife for a job talk. As soon as she entered the room, the director's brother-in-law followed. Before she could react, she was harassed. When her stepmother arrived, she dragged the girl to the bathroom to destroy evidence. The man even accused the girl of seducing him. A month later, the girl found out she was pregnant, and under pressure, she was forced to marry him. She gave birth to 4 daughters. 1 was abandoned, 2 were sold, the youngest was beaten deaf. In the end, she died together with her abuser. When she opened her eyes again, she was back to 10 years ago at that same wedding, seeing her stepmother and the factory wife. She finally realized it had all been a setup. Just like before, the woman lied about a job interview and told her to wait upstairs. As she climbed the stairs, a pair of lustful eyes watched her from afar. To escape the horror, she quickly came up with a plan, leading to the moment at the balcony. After the man fell, she calmly turned on the radio, listening to music, while enjoying the screams from downstairs. Minutes later, the factory director stormed in, demanding to know if she pushed him. His wife quickly stepped in to defend her, saying she was too small to push anyone. The girl also said she had been in the room the whole time. If she'd left, someone would have seen her. Then asked what had happened. When told he had died, she pretended to be shocked. Her performance convinced them it was just an accident. The wedding ended quietly. The stepmother could only take the girl home in disappointment. She had planned to trap the girl into pregnancy and marriage, to transfer her late mother's job to her own son. Now that the plan was ruined, she desperately begged the girl to give up the job. The girl agreed without hesitation, but said she wanted $30,000 for it, or she'd sell it to someone else, and her son wouldn't be able to marry. Her father was furious, and raised his hand to hit her, but she grabbed his wrist. In her last life, her stepmother had moved in right after her mother died, and her father had forced the girl and her sister to sleep in the living room, so her stepmother's son could have their room. That greedy boy later conspired with his mother to send the girl into the hands of her abuser. All her suffering came from this vile pair. This time, she would make them pay. The stepmother panicked, afraid the girl would really sell the job. She quickly said she only had $20,000, and if that wasn't enough, she'd include their old house. But this was exactly what the girl was waiting for. 4 years later, that house would be demolished, and in her past life, the stepmother became rich overnight because of it. This time, the girl wouldn't let her live happily, so she agreed after pretending to consider. The next day they transferred the property. Though it cost the stepmother half her fortune, she believed it was worth it for her son's job. Her son was at home getting ready, planning to propose after he got the job. Meanwhile, the girl happily returned to her grandmother's house. Her uncle and aunt treated her with care. She settled in for now, but with the pain of her past life still fresh, she began planning her next